Alright, welcome everybody to Can We Make Impact Wrestling the best promotion in Total Extreme Wrestling 2013? Plus, we talk TNA, Impact Wrestling, Bound for Glory 2005. So, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us as we are live and in person. Rocking and rolling, making our way on through. As you can see in game, we are also very close to TNA Bound for Glory. We are just 2 days away from that, and we will advance the day and get ever so closer to our pay-per-view. Now, TNA Bound for Glory 2005 took place in the Impact Zone, as most or all TNA events did back then. The attendance for this one was actually increased to 900, so a big show than most, and probably one of the better shows in 2005 for TNA. You had a lot of big name talent that was on the card. I mean, when your dark match includes Austin Aries, Roderick Strong, Sanjay Dutt, and Alex Shelley, you're in pretty good shape when it comes to the actual card. Also, on the card, we had Jeff Jarrett, Tito Ortiz, Kevin Nash, AJ Styles, Kip James, Ron Killings, Samoa Joe. You also had Jeff Hardy, America's Most Wanted. The Naturals were on board. Team Canada, 3 Live Crew, Shark Boy, the usual suspects. And the show got kicked off in the dark match, as I mentioned, with a fatal 4-way between Sanjay Dutt, Alex Shelley, Austin Aries, and Roderick Strong, in which Sanjay Dutt would pick up the win. The first match to open the show, and this was actually one that I watched. I've started watching this pay-per-view. I haven't gotten all the way through it yet. Again, I should say. And Samoa Joe, Jushin Liger kicked off the show, the pay-per-view portion of the show, at least. And Samoa Joe would pick up the win over Jushin Liger. Next matchup featured the Diamonds in the Rough, who usually go first. That would be David Young, Elix Skipper, and Simon Diamond, taking on the team of Apollo and Sonny Siaki along with Shark Boy. And Diamonds in the Rough would pick up the win in this one. Lastly, Monty Brown would defeat Lance Hoyt in singles action. And that would be the upper portion of the card. Next up, we'll get to here momentarily, was 3 Live Crew and Team Canada in a 6-man tag team match, but we've got some unread emails to tend to here momentarily. As we take a look at some of the news, nothing pressing here. Jay Christ continues to complain, as he normally does, because he wants to be retired and he's not retired. So, Bound for Glory tomorrow night. Seems like a perfect time to run our medical. We will comprehensive test everybody. Roster is clean. Kota Ibushi's still a little beat up, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. I don't think he's available yet, though. He is not. He won't start here for a few more days, so he'll miss Bound for Glory, but that's okay. It'll give us a nice little debut on the show after Bound for Glory, and we'll head to tomorrow in game. Team Canada next on the card at Bound for Glory 2005 against 3 Live Crew. 3 Live Crew, of course, is Road Dogg, Conan, and Ron Killings, R-Truth, for those of you who are WWE fans. Team Canada was the team of Eric Young, Bobby Roode, and A1, along with Petey Williams, who is also a part of that stable, and Scott D'Amore was part of that stable as well. Team Canada would pick up the win in a 6-minute, 6-man tag match. Early matches in this one were really, really quick. And just kind of flew through the first portion of this pay-per-view. The next match was the Ultimate X match to determine the number one contender for the TNA X Division Championship. The Ultimate X match had the wires suspended above the ring, and the goal was to get up to the top because the title belt was suspended where the two cables would cross. So the X marks the spot, if you will. Chris Sabin, Matt Bentley, and Petey Williams in a triple threat match determined the number one contender. Matt Bentley, of course, is Shawn Michaels' cousin, Chris Sabin, and Petey Williams also in this match. Petey Williams would pick up the win and make his way to the number one contender spot. Next on the card, the NWA World Tag Team Championship match between the Naturals, featuring Andy Douglas and Chase Stevens, taking on America's Most Wanted with Gail Kim at ringside. America's Most Wanted came into this one the NWA World Tag Team Champions, and they would walk out the NWA Tag Team Champions as well. Also, during the pay-per-view, we would see the debut of Christian Cage. So stay tuned for that as well if you get a chance to watch. I highly recommend picking up Impact Plus if you don't already have it. Monsters Ball match was next on the card. Jeff Hardy, Rhino, Abyss, and Sabu all in this one. And the Monsters Ball match, basically a fatal four-way, Extreme Rules, no DQ type of match. And Rhino would pick up the win in this one in about a 10 to 12 minute match. I think that one went. Next up was the 30-minute Iron Man match for the X Division Championship. Christopher Daniels, who had lost the title at the previous pay-per-view, taking on the champion AJ Styles. 30-minute Iron Man match. This one obviously was going to go 30 minutes. It did, and AJ Styles got the victory, 1 fall to none in that matchup. Then was supposed to be the main event. However, Kevin Nash was unable to participate in the main event match, so TNA held a 10-man gauntlet match, and involved in the match were Abyss, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Kip James, Lance Hoyt, Monty Brown, Rhino, R-Truth, Sabu, and Samoa Joe. So, gauntlet matches, 2 wrestlers start in the ring, and then every 2 minutes another one would come in. The objective of the match was to eliminate an opponent by throwing them over the top rope. The last wrestler left would pick up the win. The match came down to Abyss and Rhino would pick up the victory and go to the main event, where he would take on NWA World Heavyweight Champion Jeff Jarrett and the special guest referee Tito Ortiz. Rhino would defeat Jeff Jarrett, and with Gail Kim at ringside, to claim the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So your new champion, Rhino, good dude, by the way. If you never had a chance to meet Rhino, highly recommend hanging out with him. Really cool guy. Alright, so we've got a lot of news here as we get set for our TNA Impact Bound for Glory. A lot of things going down here. Nothing really pertaining to us. New champion in NGW. AEW had an event last night, and WWE had an event as well. Randy Orton became the new WWE champion. Alright, Kota Ibushi will be able to start work tomorrow, so there you go. gonna miss Bound for Glory by 1 day. Alright, here we go. Impact Bound for Glory, 3-hour pay-per-view. We are allowed to run 25% over, and we've got lots to get to. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to book out all the women's matches, because we have a pretty deep women's division roster here, and want to get that booked up pretty good here. So we're going to take some people with some halfway decent momentum, which is more or less nobody. We'll go Kira Hogan. Actually, I want to save her for the women's division match on the card. So we'll do Tennille Dashwood, Tennille Taylor, and how about Rosemary and a little pre-show spectacular. And we'll wide that one up. Amy Dumas is the road agent for all of our women's matches. We have to keep that in mind. For the women's division championship, we're going to do a fatal 4-way featuring our champion, Kairi Sane, Kira Hogan, Shayna Baszler, making her Impact Wrestling debut, and our former women's division champion, Tessa Blanchard. And we'll give that, there we go. We'll make sure Amy Dumas is the road agent for this. We'll keep it open, we'll keep it decisive, and I don't care who wins. So we'll put that on the books. Alright, and last but not least, we'll book the remaining women's division. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 competitors left, which means we're going to change this match from a fatal 4-way to a triple threats. So that way we can have 10 women on the card, and we can go with a 10-woman battle royal. Alright, so we've got the champion, Kairi Ojo, Shayna Baszler making her debut, and Kira Hogan as the triple threat. Amy Dumas is still the road agent for this Knockouts Championship on the line. It's open, it's decisive, and there we go. Now we have our 10-woman battle royal that will finish out the rest of the women's division. There we go. And Amy is on board with this one. We'll let it run a little bit on the long side. And keep it open, keep it decisive. There we go. That is our show opener. Alright. I think I'm going to let these ladies go a little bit longer for the championship. There we go. Okay. Now, let's book our championship matches. So we will start with the championship match for the Impact Heavyweight Championship. Kofi Kingston, your champion. Jake Hager will be his challenger. One-on-one, we'll have them go for a good long while as well. We'll have them go 28 minutes. Slow build it, decisive finish, and I think I want Kofi to come on top here. So that one's in the books. Now we've got our X Division Championship, which will feature the champion, Marty Scurll, and let's go with Will. No, Will already had it once. Let's go with Johnny Impact. Have these guys ever fought? Not one-on-one. So we'll give it to him. X Division Championship. Johnny Impact, Marty Scurll, one-on-one. Don't care who wins it. This one's going to be a great match. Alright, our Tag Team Championship is going to be on the line. The Gorillas of Destiny. We'll have a triple threat match. They will get the Coffee Brothers and the Briscoes in a tag team division match. And this will be open. Got to make sure we keep the Coffees in good shape as well, since they're a little bit lower in the card than the rest of the teams that they're facing. Alright, then we have our Impact Grand Championship Tournament Final, TJP and Eddie Edwards. And there you see the tournament bracket. Eddie Edwards takes on TJP. For the Impact Grand Championship. So if you recall, we are utilizing the Impact Grand Championship similar to a number one contenders type championship, where if you are the Impact Grand Champion, similar to the X Division Champion, you can cash in, vacate your title in exchange for a World Heavyweight Championship match. So that's what we'll be using that for. Alright, so we've got all of our championships lined up. Now it's just a matter of filling in the rest of the card. And we will start with the bottom of the card, Vinny Marseglia. I'm actually going to put the Kingdom. We're going to do a 6-man tag match here. 3 versus 3. We will get the entire Kingdom involved. Vinny Marseglia, TK O'Ryan, and Matt Taven all together. And we will have them face off against the team of MJF, Flip Gordon, and Shawn Spears. I like that. Let's book it. So we've got to keep this open. And we've got to keep the lower guys on the card. The Vinny Marseglias, the Matt Tavens, and the Flip Gordons. We've got to keep them strong so that everybody looks kind of evenly balanced. Alright, so that one is in the books. Let's see who's next here. Brody King, without his tag team partner, Marty Scurll. He will get Dalton Castle. We haven't used Dalton Castle in a good long while, so this one will be an interesting one indeed. And we need to make sure we keep Brody nice and strong so that it looks even. There we go. Bump that one up. Alright, we should have 2 tag teams left. The Killer Elite Squad and the Lucha Bros. We'll get them on the card as well. Cannot forget about those guys. And they're going to go all out. Decisive win. And they're gonna open the show, I think. I like that idea, having them kind of set the tone. Alright, next, our lower mid-card guys. We've got a lot of them here. Jay White will get a matchup, and he will face Will Ospreay. I like the idea of Jay White getting a big push here. The question will be is if Will Ospreay is willing to put him over, and he is not. So we'll have to take out that stipulation that Jay White's going to win and hope for the best that he pulls it out. Alright, next up on lower mid-card, guys, is Chase Owens. And we will have him meet Eli Drake in a quickie match as we get kayfabe controversy set back up here. Don't want them to miss a thing. There we go. Alright. So they're back on board. Part 2 of kayfabe controversy's broadcast, if you will. Alright, so we've got Chase Owens and Eli Drake going one-on-one. There we go. Next up, another one of our lower mid-card guys, David Finlay. Joe Hendry gonna make his debut as well. Not sure who we're gonna have him face. I think I have a pretty good idea. David Finlay's gonna get Jay Lethal one-on-one. Trying to balance out this card a little bit. Trying not to stack these lower card guys together in the same match as best I can. Alright, and we'll do a tag match with Dave and Jake Christ, because for some reason they don't show up in my list of tag teams. And we'll put Bully Ray and Brian Cage together on a team. That sounds like devastation and then some. But with Bully Ray and Brian Cage on a tag team together. And I think that will come in after the Women's Battle Royal. Okay. Now we've got 5 guys left. How much time do we have? We have 35 minutes. That's enough for 2 matches. So first up, we will get Joe Hendry's debut against Alex Shelley. And see how these two do. One-on-one. Have them work the crowd as well. Alex Shelley's work in Impact back in 2005, really, really good. Like, if you've never seen it, I highly suggest checking it out. Alright, next up, we've got, I think we've only got 3 wrestlers left, so I'm not leaving anybody off the card. So we will do a triple threat match. Rich Swann, Sami Callihan, and Zack Sabre Jr. last on the card. And we'll pile them in. Okay, this doesn't really fit anywhere on the card, honestly, so we'll just plug it in where we plug it in. All right, there we go. One pre-show. 15 total segments on the card for the big-time pay-per-view, Bound for Glory. Here we go. Pre-show. Got a C rating. Not bad. Tenille Taylor and Rosemary. Much better than I expected, quite honestly, because normally you don't get much out of those two when they're in the ring together. First match of the night, Killer Elite Squad and the Lucha Bros. The Lucha Brothers defeated the Killer Elite Squad to get things underway. The 10-woman Battle Royal gave us a C+. Sue Young got the victory there. A tag team that was thrown together, Bully Ray and Brian Cage. A little bit disappointing against Dave and Jake Christ. Kind of bummed out that didn't go over very well. The Kingdom. Vinny Marseglia, TK O'Ryan, and Matt Taven lose to MJF, Flip Gordon, and Sean Spears. Gets a C rating, not too terrible. A B- rating for Jay White and Will Ospreay, as Will Ospreay picks up the W there. Brody King and Dalton Castle didn't click, and it was an awkward bout. And, Dalton Castle, Brody King get a D+ rating. C+ for David Finlay and Jay Lethal, with Jay Lethal picking up the victory. Eli Drake defeated Chase Owens, a C+ match. Pretty good chemistry with those two. A C match for Rich Swann, Sami Callihan, and Zack Sabre. Those three guys don't really fit too well. Alex Shelley, Joe Hendry gets a C-. I'm a little disappointed in that one. And now championship matches. The first one, Kairi Hojo retains the women's championship, defeating Shayna Baszler and Kiera Hogan. Defense number 3 of her Impact Knockouts championship. Next up, we get a C+ out of this triple threat match with the Coffee Brothers getting their second run as Impact World Tag Team Champions, beating Guerrillas of Destiny and the Briscoe Brothers. Next up, I should say, Marty Scurll, defense number 2 of his Impact X Division title, beating Johnny Impact, gets a B- rating for us. Eddie Edwards, TJP, Eddie Edwards grabs the Impact Grand Championship with a B- rating. So Eddie Edwards, sort of a de facto number 1 contender to the title. We'll find out who that champion is next. Kofi Kingston defeated Jake Hager, defense number 2 of his Impact World Championship, in a great match. And Kofi Kingston and Jake Hager with a B- rating. All in all, B- total in front of 11,956 people at the North Charleston Coliseum. And we will give up for... I gotta say, Amy Dumas did an awesome job. I'm gonna tell her that she's awesome. Christian Cage was awesome as well. His matches did really well as a road agent. And finally, we will go with Kofi Kingston, praised for his great performance. So thank you to those 3. Not that they're the only ones. So we will check up on our buy rates for the pay-per-view before we get out of here. And also get ready for the next historical pay-per-view as well, which was TNA Genesis 2005. Now, the Bound for Glory match, I guess I really kind of glazed over the fact that Kevin Nash was unavailable for this pay-per-view, and that was because he had a heart attack and was unable to be there. He was in the hospital and was unable to make it. So an unfortunate set of circumstances. Everybody knows Kevin Nash is good now, so he's doing what he does, enjoying retirement, and good on him, quite honestly. So we will check out our buy rates. Great feedback, a lot of praise, so we're good there. Bell TV not exactly thrilled with our buy rates apparently, so we'll probably be having that discussion if not completely booted from Bell TV, and we're gonna have to look at new pay-per-view providers. So Kota Ibushi is gone. Bell TV have ended their pay-per-view agreement. We knew that was coming, and a buy rate of 1.45 total. So not bad considering where we're at in terms of popularity and size and things like that. Apparently, it just wasn't enough for Bell TV. So our prestige looks good. Our momentum is good as well. Kota Ibushi joins the roster today as well. You can see we have moved up in popularity on quite a few different regions too. So we're going to plug in Kota Ibushi before we get out of here, see where he lands. He is a lower mid-carder. Yikes. I probably overpaid for him. So that's going to do it for this episode of Can We Make Impact Wrestling the best promotion in TEW 2013. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is the Mayor, Jason Smith. We'll see you next time where we talk Genesis and we get to this TV taping you see on the screen. We'll see you next time. Be excellent to each other.